The front door slammed behind me like a gunshot. And there she was, my wife of 8 years, standing in the kitchen doorway with her arms crossed so tight her knuckles went white. Lily's eyes were red-rimmed, but the set of her jaw told me this wasn't about a fight over dirty dishes. "I'm pregnant," she said, voice flat, "and it's not yours. It's David's. Deal with it." I dropped my keys. They clattered across the tile like loose change in a beggar's cup. For one heartbeat, the room spun. The smell of the lasagna I'd been looking forward to all day curdled in my throat. Then something inside me, some cold, ancient thing, snapped awake. I laughed. Not the polite chuckle you give a bad joke, but the raw, broken sound that climbs out when the world tilts too far. "You haven't heard everything yet," I said, tasting metal. Lily flinched as if I'd raised a hand. "What's that supposed to mean?" she asked, her voice shaking. I stepped over the keys and walked past her into the living room. The couch still had the dent where we'd fallen asleep watching old movies last Christmas. I sat in it now, feeling the springs groan like they knew what was coming. "Sit down, Lily. You're going to want to be off your feet for this." She hesitated, one palm drifting to the barely there swell beneath her sweater, then followed. The silence between us stretched, thick as the humidity before a San Francisco fog. Outside, the faint hum of traffic blended with the occasional distant honk, the same sound that had lulled us to sleep on our honeymoon in the Bay Area. I waited until the city noise died down. "Remember the night you told me you were working late at the office? March 3rd. You came home smelling like printer toner and someone else's cologne." Her lips parted, but no sound came. "I followed you," I continued, "not because I'm a jealous maniac, but because the credit card statement showed a hotel in Union Square I'd never heard of, room 412. I sat in the lobby with a newspaper over my face like some bad spy movie and watched you and my own brother walk out holding hands." Her face drained of color so fast I thought she might faint. "You knew." "Knew," I echoed. "I died that night, Lily. I drove down to Ocean Beach and screamed into the waves until my throat bled. Then I came home and pretended everything was fine, because I wanted to be wrong. I wanted you to have a reason that didn't gut me." She started shaking. "I was going to tell you, I swear." "Stop." I held up a hand. "Let me finish, because the story doesn't end with your confession. It ends with mine." I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope I'd carried for weeks. Inside was a single sheet of paper, lab results, black ink on white. I slid it across the coffee table. Lily stared at it like it might bite her. "Paternity test," I said. "David took it 3 weeks ago. He didn't tell you, did he?" I watched her fingers tremble as she unfolded the page. The header read, "Clearview Genetics. Probability of paternity, 0%. The sound she made wasn't human. It was the noise a heart makes when someone rips it out through the ribs. "No," she whispered. "No, that's not possible." "Possible?" I leaned forward. "You've been sleeping with my brother for 6 months. You told me yourself the baby was 8 weeks along, but David's been in Boston for the last 4 months on that consulting gig. He flew out the day after Valentine's. I have the boarding pass." Lily's eyes darted to the paper, then to me, then to the floor, searching for an escape that wasn't there. "Then whose?" That's the part I laughed about. My voice cracked despite my best effort. "Remember your girls' trip to Miami last December? The one where you came home with a tan and a new tattoo on your hip?" She touched the spot instinctively, as if the ink might still be wet. "I hired someone,
a friend of a friend who does discreet work for insurance companies. He followed you from MIA to a bar in South Beach. You left with a man named Daniel Park, Korean-American venture capitalist, married, 2 kids in Los Angeles. Ring any bells? Lily was crying now, silent tears carving tracks through the mascara she'd stopped wearing months ago. I was drunk. It was one night. I woke up hating myself. One night? I repeated. One night that gave you the only thing you thought you could weaponize against me? I stood up slowly. My knees felt like rust. David thinks the baby's his because you needed someone to blame who wouldn't leave. You picked my brother because hurting me twice was cleaner than hurting me with a stranger. She doubled over, arms wrapped around her middle, as if she could shield the child from the truth. What happens now? She asked the carpet.
Now? I looked around the room at the wedding photo where we both still believed in forever. At the ultrasound picture she'd stuck to the fridge with a magnet shaped like a stork. Now I stopped pretending. I've already spoken to a lawyer. The house is in my name. Mom left it to me before she passed. You have until Friday to pack whatever you want. After that, the locks change. Lily looked up, eyes swollen. And the baby? I swallowed the lump that had been living in my throat since March. The baby deserves better than lies. If you want to tell Daniel Park he has a daughter on the way, that's your call. If you want David to keep believing the fantasy, that's between you and whatever's left of your conscience. But you don't get to stay here and raise a child on the ruins of my trust. She tried to stand, stumbled, caught herself on the armrest. I loved you, Chris. I still don't. The word came out sharper than I intended. Love doesn't sneak out at 2 a.m. Love doesn't look me in the eye every morning for months and lie with a smile. Love doesn't use my own blood to twist the knife. I walked to the hallway, paused without turning. You broke us, Lily, but I'm not the one who has to live with the pieces behind me. Her sobs followed like ghosts. I stepped over the fallen keys, opened the door, and let the humid night swallow me whole. Somewhere down the street, a motorbike backfired. The sound cracked like the last thread of the life we had built. I didn't look back. For the first time in months, the air tasted like freedom. If you've ever been betrayed or faced heartbreak, you're not alone. Subscribe to Cheating Secrets for real stories of love, betrayal, and resilience. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss a story that could change the way you see relationships.